therefore with deep sadness and regret that I must inform you that according to this new data, Flight MH370 ended in the southern Indian Ocean. Therefore,
every day, thousands of aircraft take off around the world. Most disappear into the clouds, only to arrive safely a few hours later. But on the night of March 8th, 2014, one flight disappeared and never came back. Not because it crashed immediately, not because of bad weather, but because it simply vanished. For more than 10 years, investigators have searched oceans, analyzed satellite data, and tested countless theories. Yet the biggest mystery isn't just what happened to the aircraft. It's what happened to the 239 people inside it.
Ho Chi Minh 120.9, good night.
Good night, Malaysia 370.
To everyone at Kuala Lumpur International Airport. Flight MH370 looked completely ordinary. A Boeing 777 preparing for a routine overnight journey to Beijing. Among the passengers were business executives returning to work, students looking forward to new opportunities, couples traveling together, parents with young children, grandparents visiting family, even a baby who had barely begun life. For every person on board, someone was waiting at the other end. A spouse, a parent, a child, a friend. Nobody walking through that boarding gate imagined they were stepping into one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. At 12:41 a.m., the aircraft took off. Inside the cabin, some passengers settled in with films. Others drifted off to sleep. The cabin crew served refreshments. It was just another flight, or so everyone believed. 38 minutes after takeoff, everything still appeared normal. Then, Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah made his final radio call.
Malaysian 370. Malaysian 370, contact Ho Chi Minh 120.9, good night.
Good night, Malaysia 370.
There was no panic, no distress signal, no hint that anything was wrong. Just minutes later, the aircraft disappeared from civilian radar. Controllers attempted to make contact. Nothing. Again, nothing. At first, no one was alarmed. Communication losses happen. Usually, they're resolved within minutes. But this time, the silence never ended. While investigators struggled to understand what was happening, another story was unfolding thousands of kilometers away. Families waited at Beijing International Airport. Some held flowers, others carried gifts. Children waited excitedly to see their parents. As the scheduled arrival time passed, the crowd became restless. Airport staff stopped making eye contact. Phones rang. Whispers spread through the terminal. Then came the announcement no family ever wants to hear. The aircraft had lost contact. No one knew where it was.
With holes in their hearts, even though they knew that it was likely that this was the reality, they had that little bit of hope that this would not happen and that their family members would be found. Them with holes.
For many families, hope became a routine. Every morning began with one question: have they found the plane? Every evening ended with the same answer: no. Then investigators made an astonishing discovery. The aircraft hadn't continued toward Beijing. It had turned around. Hours later, satellite signals revealed something almost impossible. MH370 had continued flying for nearly 7 hours after disappearing. No one knew who was flying it or why. The search quickly became the largest in aviation history. Countries joined forces, ships crossed the Indian Ocean, Aircraft search from the skies. Robotic submarines scan the ocean floor. Months passed, then years. The ocean remained silent.
Malaysia Airlines deeply regrets that we have to assume beyond any reasonable doubt that MH370 has been lost and that none of those on board survived. We must now accept all evidence suggests the plane went down in the southern Indian Ocean.
Eventually, small pieces of the aircraft began washing ashore, enough to confirm the unimaginable. MH370 had almost certainly ended its journey in the southern Indian Ocean. But not a single passenger was ever found. No final goodbye, no grave, no certainty, only questions.
Therefore, with deep sadness and regret that I must inform you that according to this new data, flight MH370 ended in the southern Indian Ocean.
Psychologists have a name for this kind of grief. It's called ambiguous loss, the pain of not knowing, the hope that refuses to die, and the heartbreak that never truly ends. Today, more than a decade has passed. Technology has improved. The search continues somewhere beneath the vast waters of the southern Indian Ocean. The answers may still exist. Perhaps one day, the flight recorders will be found. Perhaps the world will finally learn what happened aboard MH370. Oh, but even then, no discovery can return the fathers who never came home, the mothers whose children waited in vain, the couples whose future ended in a single night, or the families who have spent more than a decade living between hope and heartbreak. Because this story was never just about a missing airplane, it was about 239 ordinary people who boarded a routine flight, believing they would land a few hours later. Instead, they became part of a mystery the world still cannot explain. And somewhere, there is still an arrival gate that never truly closed.